and welcome back to the channel. My name is Taylor and today is going to be my summer TBR. There are so many books that I want to read this summer, but I do have some exciting news that I will probably share in a different video. And I need to read down some of my TBR. I do have a monthly goal of reading like 5 physical books per month, but I only have like 10 physical books that I'm going to share with you today, but I'm also going to share with you all the physical books that all the books that I'm reading right now. So it's going to be a video with like just a lot of books. So this stack here is kind of what I'm currently reading, and then the stack at my feet is what I'm hoping I will read this summer. Obviously, you know, TBRs, sometimes in the moment you can feel like reading something and then all of a sudden you don't feel like reading it anymore. Before we hop in, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, give this video a like, it really helps me out. If you want to check out any of the links in my description, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm always posting a lot of like real content on there. Let's connect on like Fable and Goodreads. I would love to, you know, have more friends on those communities. And also check out my Shopify. If you know, watch any of my other videos, I do sell physical products and crochet patterns. Currently working on filling that out right now, but I do have some book sleeves available for sale on there right now. So if you want to check that out and buy something, help out, support the channel, that would be awesome. And let's hop in. So I'm gonna start with the books that I'm currently reading. Right now I am 58% through Clytemnestra by Constanza Casati, and it's really good so far. I read Electra by Jennifer Saint earlier this year. It was like one of the first 2 books that I finished for 2025, and we followed Clytemnestra in that book like a little bit, not a ton, and so I'm kind of glad that I got to, you know, see more perspective in this book. I know what happens, I mean, if we know the myth and all that stuff, but I really think that the way this one is told is just really interesting. She is portrayed in this book as like a very strong-willed, a very strong woman who like doesn't take from men, you know, and I like that. I like that a lot. And then I also have The Color of Compromise by Jamar Tipsy. This was a recommendation from Monty Mater on Instagram. She's done 2 of these videos now, really good videos about book recommendations of, you know, history of the United States through not the rich white men, essentially, and she did one that was all about Christian nationalism in the government and, you know, the racism that happens on there. In the description, it says, "The Color of Compromise is both enlightening and compelling, telling a history we either ignore or just don't know. Equal parts painful and inspirational, it details how the American church has helped create and maintain racist ideas and practices. You will be guided in thinking through concrete solutions for improved race relations and a racially inclusive church." Of the books on her list, that one was available at the library the soonest. Like, I was able to just check it out right away. So I really need to get on that. I just finished A People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn, and I'm in a bit of a nonfiction hangover right now, so I've been taking a few days off, we can say, but I need to jump into that one. And then I did just get The Hold for Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. Is it surprising that I haven't read these books or like finished the Throne of Glass series? I read, what is this, not even 30 pages, 30 pages of it by myself, and I have big book fear, so audiobooks help me with that big book fear. I have been reading on and off The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. This is also a massive book. I know I'm going to get it finished sometime this summer. It just might take me a little bit, just because the story, I'm sure some people find it like ultra compelling. I know that I think if I were to look on my Kindle, I think I'm almost to page 200, or maybe like at least in like the 160s or something, but it's just, I don't know. I mean, I want to read this book. It's not like enough to where I want to DNF. Like, I'm not offended, or, you know, I'm just not like pulled in, you know, the will to change. And I only read the preface of this today, and I've had this set aside for honestly about a month now, just being like, yeah, when I get caught up on all my nonfiction reading, I want to read this. I don't know, it's only 200 pages, and the way that Bell Hook's writing is very digestible, so I figure I could read this alongside something more dense. Essentially, in the preface, it was like, the thesis is men have the ability to change, they just have to want to change. They have to have the will to change, as the, you know. And I think that's the hard part that we as women don't always understand, is that we a lot of times feel that men don't want to change, and a lot of times men show us that they don't want to, and so it's really hard to not write them off as a whole, you know, sex. So I'm interested to read more about this book. My friend read it and she gave it 5 stars on Goodreads, and I trust her book recommendations a lot. She was the one who really like kind of pushed me to want to like read all about love. And then we have Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh. I am 47 pages into this book. Trigger warning for like a very graphic essay scene, like not even 40 pages into the book. That really caught me off guard, and I wouldn't say it's put me off the book. It's not that. It just like, I knew that there were things in this book because like there are also things in Taming 7, right? It just, like I said, really caught me off guard to the point where like I had to put the book down, and like I haven't really picked it up since. I will get through it this summer, but this is also like 700 pages, so I just big books are, you know, this summer's thing, right? Oh, this is Lizzie and Huey's story. Sorry, I forgot to say that. Because it's the 6th book in the Boys of Tommen series, which I didn't realize I have read all the other 5 books this year. I've like blown through that series, which is crazy to me. And then the last book is on my Kindle, but I have the 2nd book with me. So in Minneapolis, we have one romance bookstore. It's called Tropes and Trifles, and I found this book. It's called Old Time Religion by E.H. Lupton. And look at this cover, by the way, just stunning. But the clerk told me that this is actually the 2nd book in a series, and it was like kind of hard because she was like, oh, well, you can like kind of read them in whatever order. But once I went back and looked at, you know, what the first one was about, and then like I obviously read the synopsis on the back of this one, it follows the same characters. So even though I did go on Kindle and buy Dionysus in Wisconsin by E.H. Lupton, and I am reading that on my Kindle right now. And I do want to read this one, so this is like kind of a preview for one of the books I want to read this summer. But these books, they're paranormal romances, they're gay, and they're set on the University of Wisconsin campus in Madison, Wisconsin. This book, E.H. Lupton is a pansexual author who lives in Madison, Wisconsin. This is in their author bio. I did not go stalk them, and this book was published by Winnowing Fan Press in Madison, Wisconsin. And I have such a love for Wisconsin. I love Madison. I did some supplemental classes over my like college summers on the UW-Madison campus, and I just have such fond memories. And so I'm around 30-40 pages into Dionysus in Wisconsin, and I'm really excited to get more into these. And they have so few like ratings on Goodreads. So Dionysus in Wisconsin has 221 ratings on Goodreads. So if you are looking for a queer author to read, the books, you can buy the bind-up of 4 of them for $18. I got the first one for $3.99. I know, but they are an independent author, so. Or you could check out if your local romance bookstore has them. I wasn't expecting them to have this. Apparently it's garnering a cult following, so if you kind of want to be in the in crowd. That's what I'm reading, and one that I will read. And let's hop into the rest of the books, because I feel like I've already been yapping forever. So I only have one classic on this like summer TBR, and that's Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. So I read Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier 2 months ago now, and it was such a good book. And my assistant coach for speech, who is an English teacher, which is like not a shocker, a lot of speech coaches are English teachers, she was like, if you really like that, you need to check out Jane Eyre. And I'm like, yeah, that's what everyone says. So essentially this woman gets a husband, and then apparently paranormal stuff starts happening or something. I'm trying to peel off my Savers sticker here so I can read the back to you. Here we go. A novel of intense emotional power, heightened atmosphere, and fierce intelligence, Jane Eyre dazzled and shocked readers with its passionate depiction of a woman's search for equality and freedom on her own terms. Its heroine, Jane, endures loneliness and cruelty in the home of her heartless aunt in the cold charity of Lowood School. Her natural independence and spirit prove necessary when she takes a position as governess at Thornfield Hall, but when she finds love with her sardonic employer, Rochester, the discovery of a shameful secret forces her to make a terrible choice. So I'm really excited for this. I normally associate classics with like the fall. I think we all do, you know, the beginning of like the academic school year and stuff. But I don't know, I was trying to figure out like a diverse array of these books for summer TBR, and this one is pretty gothic in nature, and I like gothic in the summer. I don't know, something about it like feels pretty good. We do have a lot of gay books though on the TBR. So this next one is Camp by Elsie Rawson. So it is a queer romance that is set at a summer camp between Randy and Hudson, and it kind of explores themes of like changing yourself for love and how much should you change yourself for people that you like or have a crush on. And obviously it's a camp novel, so I thought that it would be perfect for the summer. A true history of the United States, indigenous genocide, racialized slavery, hyper-capitalism, militarist imperialism, and other overlooked aspects of American exceptionalism by Daniel A. Segerson. So this is a fat book too, but it's not quite as long as A People's History. The audiobook hold just popped up on my Libby for this, and I'm like, you know what? It's time. It's time. I just finished one fat history book. Let's get into another one. But this audiobook is actually only 24 hours as opposed to A People's History was, I think, 34 hours. So it should be, and I only have this book for, it'll be 21 days, so I'm gonna have to fly through this. I have been reading like nonstop, and I want to keep reading nonstop, of course. But so the back of this says, a true history of the United States will change the way its readers view America's past and present. Written in vivid, engaging prose by a combat veteran of wars in Iraq and Afghanistan and a former professor of U.S. history at the United States Military Academy, West Point, his alma mater, this book grew out of a course that Daniel A. Segerson taught to cadets, with chapter titles such as Patriots or Insurgents and The Decade That Roared and Wept. Segerson challenges readers to think deeply and critically and to apply common sense to their understanding of our republic's history, covering all of the major events, movements, and figures in American history. Segerson shifts the lens, offering fresh insights and uncommon empathy. A True History is accurate with respect to the facts and intellectually honest in its presentation and analysis. So we'll see how this book is. So one thing too, I know that like the summer ween thing is a trend, and so this is one book that I want to read this summer, Hidden Pictures by Jason Rakulak. This is about a girl who starts nannying a little boy, and he starts drawing some suspicious pictures. So I've had this on my TBR for a long time. I bought it at Books A Million when I was living in Rapid. I wanted to read it last summer, never got around to it. I'm going to get around to it this summer. From what I understand, I don't think this book is like that scary, but I obviously will let you know. I have a hard time ranking, you know, what is and isn't scary, because sometimes I think that my scariness level is not the same as like other people's scariness level. Like I think my tolerance might be a little bit higher, but I don't know. I don't know, it's really hard. I try to be objective, but what is ever really objective, right? This book is Gay by Juno Dawson. I also got this at Tropes and Trifles in Minneapolis. So this is a young adult nonfiction novel about being gay and exploring your sexuality. So it says, lesbian, bisexual, queer, transgender, intersex, straight, curious. This book is for everyone, regardless of gender or sexual preference. This book is for anyone who's ever dared to wonder. This book is for you. So this is a book that I'm going to start reading probably either today or tomorrow for Pride Month. It does look thick, but the font is like pretty big. If you can see that, there is 11 chapters, I believe. Yeah, 11 chapters. And I just think that this would be a fun book to read for Pride Month. Next is definitely a basic summer read. We have Happy Place by Emily Henry, another book that I just did not get to last summer. So I know we follow Harriet and Wynne as they go up to a summer cottage with their friends. They were engaged, they're not anymore. They're like fake being together so that they can like have fun with their friends. And then I think they like fall back in love. It's so brightly pink. It is so fun, so bubblegum. I want to go read this on a lake. I am going to Duluth at the end of June, so I'm really excited. Next is Judy Blume, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. This is a banned book, but I never really understood why. It's banned because of its audacity to wonder about being queer. So it says, Margaret Simon likes long hair, tuna fish, the smell of rain, and things that are pink. She's just moved from New York City to the suburbs and is anxious to fit in with her new friends. They swear they'll tell each other everything, from first bras, first kisses, first periods, everything. But some things are just too private to talk about, even with your friends, and especially when you're the new girl. Lucky for Margaret, she's got someone else to confide in, someone who always listens. So this is considered a middle grade novel. This is a really pretty special edition. I found this at a Goodwill recently. But I just, read banned books, and I thought this would be just a fun, short read. The last two books I have are nonfiction, so I have Stonewall, one that I'm definitely going to be prioritizing this month. The definitive account of the Stonewall riots, the first gay rights march, and the LGBTQ activists at the center of the movements, written by Martin Duberman. This book is probably going to be very dense for me. Can you tell that I'm really trying to cram all of the history into my brain? I feel like there's just so much that I have missed in my life, so much knowledge and so many things that I wish had been taught to me. There's so much to learn, and this is one thing that I feel like I should know as a bisexual woman. So there are 7 parts to this book. It doesn't go by chapters. It probably will take me a little bit longer. I might have to break up the chapters even more. But we'll see. We'll see what it reads like. But I am, we all talk about Stonewall riots and stuff, but I feel like I understand bricks were thrown and that it was a riot and a protest against police brutality. But I feel like I don't know more than that. Why don't I know more than that? So that one, and then the last one is How Fascism Works, The Politics of Us and Them by Jason Stanley. So last month in May, I read Erasing History by Jason Stanley, and it was really interesting, but I did mention how I wish I had read this book first. It all goes hand in hand, right? Erasing of history, like the modification of education, goes hand in hand with like fascist regimes, right? So as a scholar of philosophy and propaganda and the child of refugees of World War II Europe, Jason Stanley has a deep understanding that democratic societies, including the United States, can be vulnerable to fascism. In How Fascism Works, he focuses on fascist politics, the language and beliefs that separate people into an us and a them. Stanley knits together reflections of history, philosophy, sociology, and critical race theory with stories from contemporary Hungary, Poland, India, Myanmar, and the United States, among other nations, making clear the immense dangers of what identifies as the 10 pillars of fascist politics. By uncovering disturbing patterns that are as prevalent today as ever, Stanley reveals that the stuff of politics, rhetoric, and myth can become policy and reality all too quick. Only by recognizing them, he argues, can we begin to resist their most harmful effects and return to democratic ideals. Erasing History was written super, super well. I'm excited to go back into Jason Stanley's writing. I think he just does a really good work of it. This book was written in 2019, or at least it was published in 2019, and it looks like, yeah, there's 10 chapters, and I like that he keeps things like very short and sweet. Like in Erasing History, there wasn't a whole lot of like fluff. Each chapter was about 20-ish pages, and it looks like this book is just under 200 pages, which is really nice. It makes it very approachable to readers who may not read nonfiction. The font is really, really big. So, you know, things I like in my nonfiction reading. And that is all the books I have for you today. I feel like I talked through so many books. I'm so excited for this summer. I have things planned almost every weekend, so it's definitely going to be not hard, but you know, reading is always a choice. It's a habit to build, right? And so these are the books that I definitely want to make a priority in my reading right now, and I'm just excited to see where the summer goes. Don't forget to give this video a like. Let me know what you're going to be reading this summer in the comments down below. And subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.